guys, and welcome to day 7 of Vlogmas. And today I would like to talk about the books this year that I feel meh about. So I don't know if I would say that I hated them, but they're books that I didn't feel that great after reading them, and now at the end of the year I don't feel really differently about them, and I just kind of wanted to evaluate maybe if I have changed at all or if I've come to dislike them more being a few months out. And I'll just start with the books. And the first is The Vicar of Wakefield. This is by Oliver Goldsmith, and it was written in the 1700s, and I started out doing a buddy read at the very beginning of the year with Katie from Books and Things. And this story was so plot driven, and it had such a crazy plot that I felt you didn't get to really know any of the characters. And I am such a character reader. Like, I read books to get to know characters. And in case you don't know, The Vicar of Wakefield is about this vicar and his family and basically all of the tragedies, tragedy after tragedy, that happens to them. And so I think at a certain point it just didn't seem like there was a reason. There was no purpose for the tragedies being in this book, and it was just made as a way to kind of manipulate the emotions of the reader. So coming out of this, I don't know if I'm even glad that I read it, but I can say I read it now, and it's referenced in Emma by Jane Austen. So that's fun to know about one of the books that Harriet is talking about. But other than that, I don't really think I'm glad that I read it. The next one is Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. And I've had several conversations with Stephanie from That's What She Read about this book, and I honestly go so back and forth over this one. And I think when it comes down to it, that I overall don't like this book. I think the writing is outstanding. Some of the passages have still stuck with me, so I think the writing is really great. But overall, the message, the very nihilistic, you can never change the negative traits that you have, you can never grow as a person, message of it really annoys me and ticks me off, and I just think it's very not true, and it puts people in a box and it traps them. So if there are things that you don't like about yourself, you're just left helpless and there's nothing you can do about it, and I think that's very wrong. So I think it was a book where I thought the writing was beautiful, but I was really offended by the message. Like, that doesn't happen with many books, but that's one where I think that's the case. The next one is The Tenant of Wildfell Hall by Anne Bronte, and I know there are a lot of people on BookTube who love this book, but this is one where, just as with The Vicar of Wakefield, I think there's so much turbulence and tragedy happening around Helen. She has this abusive husband, she runs away, and I don't really feel that we actually get to know her. Whereas in Jane Eyre, I feel like you get to know more the personality and the quirks of Jane. To me, Helen just seemed very boring. I don't know how else to put it. I didn't like her. I didn't think she was a compelling character. I thought the story was just too much about this terrible, terrible marriage she was stuck in and not enough actual plot. I don't know. It just didn't suit my personality. But I am glad I read this one because I would like to say that I've read all of the Bronte's works eventually. The next one is How Green Was My Valley, and this is one that I think just didn't hit home with me. I had very high expectations for this, and it checked some of my boxes. It took place in Wales, which I hadn't really read much in Wales, but Wales, things taking place there really appeals to me. It is about family, and it also is kind of a memoir set in a historical setting, and so those things kind of all appealed to me. But then when it came down to it, the book was so different than I thought it was going to be, and one of the barriers that I think to me really loving this book was honestly the dialect, because the dialect just kept the characters more at a distance from me. I felt like I wasn't really engaging with them and understanding them. And so this is a book that I don't think I'll ever reread. I'm not even sure if I'm glad that I read it, but what are you gonna do? I've already read it, and now I can say that I did. The next book is one that I was shocked that I didn't love, and that's Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons. I'd owned this for several years, and then last Christmas I got Nightingale Wood by Stella Gibbons for Christmas, and I buddy read that with Ange. And we had so much fun reading Nightingale Wood. We just absolutely loved it, and it's now one of my favorite books. And so I was like, all right, on to Cold Comfort Farm. And Cold Comfort Farm could not have been more different from Nightingale Wood. It was such a satire, and I wasn't expecting that at all. It's kind of Stella Gibbons' version of Northanger Abbey. And it just was something, like I said, I was not expecting at all. I think the humor was just very lost on me. And like I said, this is one where I felt like I didn't really get to know the characters. And the characters, though, that I did get to know, I really did not enjoy. And it was just altogether just not for me. So I did not enjoy Cold Comfort Farm. And that is honestly why I haven't picked up another Stella Gibbons. I haven't worked up the courage until the month of December. So altogether, I did not enjoy Cold Comfort Farm, which is surprising to me that I would love Nightingale Wood so much, which is one of her less popular works, and dislike Cold Comfort Farm so much. But sometimes that happens. The reading experience is so subjective to every reader. And the next one is Whose Body by Dorothy Sayers. So if you've heard me talk about mysteries at all, then you'll know that I really don't enjoy golden era mysteries, and Whose Body was no exception. Dorothy Sayers has like a great reputation in the mystery writing world. I know that she actually is a good writer, but her mysteries so are not for me. It was so hard to get through for me, and it was like less than 200 pages, but this mystery just did not sit with me. The humor in it was not my type of humor, and the plot, just everything about it I did not like. And then of course the loyal fans keep telling me, well, you have to read Strong Poison. So of course I'm going to read Strong Poison, and then I know after reading Strong Poison I'll be able to say, no, I really don't enjoy this series, but I'm going to give it another shot. I'm very skeptical. Hopefully I'll enjoy it, although I don't think it's going to be the case, but who knows? I've been wrong before. Then the next one that all of you know I really did not enjoy was Villette by Charlotte Bronte. And I will just link my whole rant. It's in my DNFing video. I don't need to go over it again. You can see it there if you're really curious to hear more things about it, but I could not have disliked Villette more. That is one that I'll say I hated. That's like the one on this list I'll say I hated. And the next one that was very meh and I was very underwhelmed with, unfortunately, was The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I haven't even really taken the time to talk about it on this channel just because I really have no motivation whatsoever to talk about it. And yeah, I was so, like I said, underwhelmed. The lack of character development in this, to me, was just so unimpressive. And I mean, I could see how he was a talented writer. I could definitely see that. I'll grant Fitzgerald that. But other than that, it was so short. I felt like it lacked so much depth and just left you with so many questions and too many questions. So it was altogether not the book for me. So all told though, to have 8 books that I feel meh about from a year that I read over 100, I think is pretty good. So overall, I should be feeling positive. And please let me know, though, the books that you either were feeling meh about or you hated this year, because it's very interesting to see how people take books so differently and experience them so differently. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're enjoying Vlogmas, and I will see you tomorrow for another video. Bye, guys.